Today marks the 20th anniversary of Mega Man Legends. It debuted for the original PlayStation on August 31st, 1998 in North America. To clarify, it released in Japan a year prior in December. If you've been following my videos or writing for a while, then you probably know I am in love with this series. In honor of this momentous anniversary, I thought it was high time I went back into the vault for another brief retrospective. So to begin, Mega Man Legends takes place in a far-flung future wherein the world was pretty much destroyed and all that's left are ruins, islands, and a whole lot of water. These ruins are excavated by diggers who search for reactor crystals which are used for power and thus are also a form of currency. Mega Man is one of those diggers along with his pilot Roll and her grandfather Professor Gasket. Oh yeah, and they have a robot monkey in a diaper named Data. After the first dungeon, the trio crash land on Cadillacs Island, which is attacked by Sky Pirates, the Bond family, soon after. The game is essentially about Mega Man trying to get parts to fix the ship, along with unraveling the mysteriousness of both the island's dungeons, himself, and stopping the nefarious pirates from taking over. The thing that I love about the narrative isn't its plot twist, it's the interactions between Mega Man and the various Bond pirates, which is reminiscent of Saturday morning cartoons wherein the villains are all buffoons, but lovable. To tie this into another video game franchise, let's call them a Team Rocket-like. The other thing I'm still in awe of are the designs, which are fantastic. The game just looks good too. The use of cel-shading over polygonal models really makes it stand out. Sure, it's still kind of blocky, but next to other PS1 games of the time, it's a masterpiece. Capcom really went for it in terms of reinventing what it was to be a Mega Man game, which at the time was celebrating its 10th anniversary as a series. Needless to say, I love this game to pieces, but that said, like a lot of 3D platformers at the time, the controls are clunky. The game doesn't support analog sticks, so moving around the 3D world felt horrific on the D-pad. The camera is also terrible, with a lock-on system that is more of a hindrance than it is helpful. On top of that, the game is also just pretty hard. There's an easy mode, but in order to unlock it, you need to beat the game on hard or finish it under 3 hours on normal, which seems counterproductive, although the series is kind of known for being challenging. Replaying it again was kind of eye-opening, which is the case with a lot of nostalgia. We all remember the good things about our beloved games from our childhood, and kind of forget the troubling parts, especially if we played it during the time of its heyday, when controls and issues like this were commonplace, and thus more normal. That said, I still enjoyed it because what it did right, it still felt great to me. It was just a little rougher on the edges than I remembered. I could go on about just this game for hours, but I think we should move on. So let's get to the sequel, The Misadventures of Tron Bonne, which was released for the PlayStation on April 30th, 2000 in North America. The game is as you'd expect, about the Bond family, and is a prequel to the events of the first game. It has 3 segments akin to Legends, wherein you're piloting lavishly designed mechs with some Pikmin-like elements, but it's kind of more of a mishmash of minigames. You play through various segments like a puzzle game or a dungeon crawler in order to get money. Get enough, you can pull off elaborate heists. It's not the game I envisioned it to be, and thus not as good, but as a side project and as an extension of the Bond family, I dig it. But more importantly, we should get to the actual sequel, which was Mega Man Legends 2, which released for the PlayStation on October 24th, 2000. Yes, just a few short months later. It gets back to what made Legends good, but with a few problems fixed. For example, the camera and lock-on system are now more stable. You get to do a lot of island hopping this time around, so the environments thankfully change up. Plus, there is a rival Sky Pirate organization along with assassins and more mysterious robots from Mega Man's past that really flesh out the cast and overall world. It's still whimsical and lighthearted, but it's also a bit more serious than its predecessor. Now, since the game is 18 years old, I don't mind lightly spoiling the end for you. Mega Man finds himself on the moon, trapped. Roll, Gasket, and the Bond family are seen at the end working together in order to build a rocket to retrieve Mega Man, and that's the cliffhanger we got and have been sitting on for, again, 18 years! After a long drought, a sequel was finally announced for the 3DS in 2010. However, even after releasing a demo, which was pulled, it was cancelled less than a year later. The span was from September 2010 to July 2011. Two things could contribute to this. One, the game's producer, Keiji Inafune, who has been with Mega Man since day one, was leaving. This led to other Mega Man games getting cancelled too. Actually, to clarify, it's unknown if Capcom cancelling this project led to him leaving, or if he was leaving so Capcom cancelled it. We'll probably never get the full true story. But that doesn't matter because the main factor was the 3DS, which had a horrible launch in March 2011 for North America, which led to Nintendo dropping the price during that summer. Not only was it cut from $250 down to $170, but if you bought a 3DS before the cut, you'd get exclusive games as part of an ambassador's program. Needless to say, after a rocky start, the 3DS has proved fruitful for Nintendo. I love the system myself, but a part of me is still bitter that Nintendo didn't handle the launch better. Again, a lot of factors were at play in terms of getting Mega Man Legends 3 cancelled, but whether it was a huge part or not, the 3DS's beginning failure at least shook Capcom enough to can it. At this period, the company kind of fumbled too, but they've also sort of course-corrected themselves in the past couple years, and have even taken Mega Man out of retirement. Mega Man 11 is the first new console game in the franchise since 2010's Mega Man 10. That was 8 years ago. So, for Mega Man Legends and for Mega Man fans in general, it has been a long time. So, if it does well, who knows? Maybe we'll one day save Mega Man Trigger from his never-ending prison on the moon. My name is Tristan, and you've been watching ReActionExaminer, wherein I do my best to create interesting videos to entertain and educate you fine folks. Be sure to subscribe, that helped me out a lot. And if you want to check out more, be sure to read my work over on The Gamer, wherein I write fun little listicles. You can also drop by my personal website, GameJerk, wherein I post other articles and reviews. All these links and more can be found in the description below. Thanks, and see you all next time.